Not gonna lie. If anytime, like my camera will turn off and I'm gone for about 2, 3 minutes, yeah, I'm going to the bathroom. Just know I'm going to the bathroom. Alright, we should be showing up on YouTube any second now. Let's see. We're live on the radio.
I'm going to build models. What the heck? And then went to school, became a graphic artist, and put away childish things for a while. Got out into the real world and realized I'd much rather be a child, and then brought all the childish things back out. I've been building models off and on now. My second wave started about 2004, and
Hmm.
I haven't looked back since. I've always thought we were pretty much up until the last maybe couple of years, we've been in a golden age of models as far as the quality of stuff that's available and the subject matter and all that. It's a great hobby. What's not to like about it? And I found a way to make some side money on it too, so which is that's good too. I came up with the Aztec Dummy line of painting stencils, so I could turn my hobby into a little bit of something that might come be of use to somebody else.
So for our listeners, the your YouTube channel is the Aztec Dummy. Could
Aztec
you
Dummy.
explain what Aztecing is, and why you called
Well,
yourself the Aztec Dummy?
it was either going to be Aztec Dummy or Space the Vinyl Frontier. I just to show you where my brain went. Aztecing, it was named after the pattern on that you see on the hull of the Enterprise on the saucer, and I believe it was coined by Paul Newitt, who was a pioneer in model building and accurizing models. And what had happened was in 2004, again, when I started back in, Polar Lights, of course, back then, yeah, there were Polar Lights back then. Names changed so often. There was like a 1-2 punch of the 350 scale NX-01 ship that came out, and like a year later, the 350 refit ship came out. And those two models are still the high watermark for me of scale model building. But that 350 saucer, it just begs to have the Aztec pattern painted on it, as seen in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, which is not an easy thing to do. Back then, they didn't have the wallpaper decals that you'd lay down and get your pattern that way. You had to physically paint each one of those panels, and God help you if you could make two of them match, next to each other. Well, I'm sitting at work one day. Like I said, I was a graphic artist. I was working for the wonderful state of North Carolina, and we had a vinyl cutter. It's like, if I can make one of those, I bet you I can make, the other 36 that have to go around the hull, save you a lot of time. So I started noodling around with a concept for that, and I painted my refit, and I put it on the Hobby Talk forum way back, and I showed a picture of it, and I said, what do you get? What do y'all think? And how do I do that? How do I do that? And then out of the blue, I get an email message from Steve Iverson at Cult TV Man. He says, "Do you sell those masks?" I said, "Well, I hadn't really thought of it." He goes, "I'll take 50." So it's like,
Wow.
I think I'd better think of this, and then I'd better get my own plotter because I can't do this on the government time, that kind of thing. But it started from there, and it's been a roller coaster ever since.
Nice. Yeah, I saw you had painting masks for. I still have it here, my Proteus. I haven't built my Proteus yet, and I'm like going, I think I should get the painting masks for the windows.
Actually, the Proteus masks are fun because sometimes I do what is called painting masks that are simply stencils, and sometimes I do plating, which is actually stick the vinyl down, paint over it, and it looks like plating. Mm-hmm. The Proteus has the black vinyl that you're meant to duplicate the gaskets inside the window.
The window seal, yeah.
Yeah, the window seals, because that's not provided in the kit. There's no detail for that. Right. Gasketing.
Yeah, I called Plastidip, I believe, and they make it in like a black spray. So I was going to use that because when it dries, it kind of dries, almost like a matte finish.
Right.
So yeah. So the other question. What was the other question I had? Oh, I was watching, and this is like a pet peeve of mine, and I've said this on this show. You were doing a model of the Tauntaun 1/6 scale or 1/12 scale.
It's a little bit smaller than that. If the figure, I'd say maybe 1/12. If the figure is 6 inches tall, then it's a 6 foot tall. I think it's maybe around 110. Right.
My pet peeve was, I hate when guys mold the fur onto a model. It is a real pain in the butt for me because I mean, why can't they just go out and go get the fur, make the skin smooth, stretch the fur over it, and then just provide that in the kit, and then you have it, and then it actually looks like the maquette from from like the Star Wars universe. If you were gonna do, I guess if it was if it was Star Wars, how do you feel about that? Do you like it, or?
It's very tough. It's hard to do it realistically, like you say, depending on the scale of it. I like I did a Harryhausen Cyclops that was about yay big. About 18 inches tall, and I flocked it. I flocked the hair to give that effect. It's what most people could do. I mean, if you're trying to sell a model that you're trying to make easiest for the highest number of people to do it, you're going to make it as easy as possible for them. So yeah, maybe you don't give them the bald tauntaun. You give them something that's got the hair already sculpted in.
Oh, okay.
But then you run the risk. I mean, look at Mego action figures, and you look at Kirk's hair is sculpted, but Uhura's hair looks like a Barbie doll and it sticks straight up. I mean, if you want to try to make it, somewhat realistic, you're probably going to end up sculpting it. It's
Right.
when they don't do a good job of the sculpting, that's when you can gnash your teeth over the sculpted hair. It
Yeah.
depends on the scale of it, really.
Yeah.
After a certain size, yeah, it really ought to be provided as actual hair on there.
So I may have a model kit for you. I'm trying to do it now.
What's that?
I've been working on it for 12 years. It's the Rat Bat Spider from Angry Red Planet.
Oh, I've seen that thing. Yeah, it looks like it's the one with the big head and the yeah.
Yeah.
I know
The bot. I finally got mold rubber yesterday. I got 2 gallons of it just to do the body, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get this body done. I've been working on this thing for like 13 years, and it's still.
That's one of those kits that every year I see something. There was a model like that. It was the Terror from Beyond is like the thing that looks like a traffic cone. Has big pinchers, but it looks like a traffic cone.
Yeah.
And that model was at Wonderfest every year for 20 years. And the one year I said, well, this year I'm going to pick it up. You can't find it anymore. And I think that there was one like that of the Rat Bat. It was one of these days I'm going to get it. One of these days, and then when you go to look for it, you can't find it.
I saw back in 2012. I saw the Lunar Models kit. There was a Lunar Models kit, and I had talked to Steve Smith about it. And Steve said, "I had that kit." He goes, "Are you sculpting one?" I said, "Yeah, I'm sculpting one right now." And he goes, "Why?" I said, "I bid on that kit. That kit went for $500.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 200 at the time." And then I saw very horrible copies on Monsters in Motion. I was like going, okay, there's one kit. And I was like, no, that doesn't look like it. Then they came out with the Ultra Tumba kit, which was molded in a pink resin. And it had really big ears, but a very small face. And I said, it kind of looks like it, but not really. And then after Ultra Tumba, there's this other kit that's on Monsters in Motion now. Doesn't look anything like the Rat Bats. It kind of reminds me of the Rat Bat Spider, but it doesn't look anything like it. It has really big teeth, almost like a rabbit. And I'm like, who is sculpting these things, man? Did they actually watch the movie?
When you said pink resin, that reminded me. I think that must have been the version that I saw.
Yeah, the Ultra Tumba kit has like it has ears that are out more, this way instead of back, and then it's got these really long arms, and I'm like, okay, and it's so.
The lesson I've learned is that if you see something and you want it, just bite the bullet and pick it up then, because the day that you really want it, it's not going to be there anymore.
Yeah. So it to me, it was like, okay, well, I can't get it anymore. I hate the ones that they have out. Why not just sculpt my own? I can sculpt, so I'm just doing it my own. So you may get one in the mail one of these days. I don't know.
I'll be happy to work on it.
Okay.
If you have the skill to make something like that, by all means do it. If you have a minute, I've got a Tom Savini story.
Sure.
I was going to art school in Pittsburgh. Tom Savini, local sci-fi or makeup effects legend, worked on Dawn of the Dead and a lot of the Pittsburgh George Romero movies. There was a story he wanted. He had just seen Star Wars, wanted a Darth Vader mask. Well, they didn't make Darth Vader masks back in 1977, so he just decided to sculpt his own. And it's like, and he shows this beautiful Darth Vader full scale helmet that he made for himself. It's like, that's a guy who saw something he wanted, could not find it, and by God, he made his own. Mm-hmm. And I mean, all the props in the world, just by he has the skills to do it, but he has the tools to know how to do it, and all of that. It's like, yes, if you see something, you can make your own if you can't find it in a store somewhere. No one is saying you have to, get a piece of wood and whittle it, for God's sake. You can make your own stuff.
Yep, you can do it.
You can do it.
You can do it.
Anyone can cook.
So we have the technology.
Well, I don't even know if he did, but because there were pictures of him carving it, shaping it out of clay, molding it out of clay, and it's like, damn, son.
Are there different mediums that you use, like epoxy sculpt, or do you use any of the smooth-on stuff for your models? Or
I use I have not used a lot of the smooth-on materials, to tell you the truth. I like epoxy sculpt. I have a tendency, if I find something that I like, I kind of run it into the ground. I'll stick with it. And people have joked that I'm going to buy you 100 I see the horrible brushes you're using. I'm going to buy you some better brushes. And I think, don't bother, because I'm going to use the $1.98 brush from Walmart until it's dead. And then you know what? I'll throw it out and get another one. I'm not going to spend $100 on a brush, and treat it as badly as I do my $1 brushes. To me, it's just a tool. It does the fanciest tool doesn't imbue you with skill.
Right. I mean, you don't need a $100 brush. You could take that $100 and get 100 brushes.
Yeah, I get $25 brushes, whatever. But it to me, it's a tool, and it's like a pencil. It's meant to be used up and thrown away and replaced with another one.
Chip brushes from Harbor Freight. Those are my those are my go-to.
The 1-inch foam brushes.
Yeah, 1-inch foam brushes, right?
Foam brushes from the big hardware stores.
I had interned at Steve Neal's shop in 2017, and he was showing me ways of making tools, like making sanding tools to sand, certain areas. And he goes, "Oh well," he goes, "Why can't you just make the tool?" I was like, "What?" He goes, "No, use this, and then." Go to the dollar store and go get, the nail files, like the throwaway foam nail files. I said, oh, and then, so you learn a lot.
Yeah. Certain
things you have to, build on the fly in order to accomplish a task. And, so yeah, it was a, it was a good learning experience. I think we did your.
Did you do my chair?
No, I didn't do your chair. That was before. That was like a year before. I think you did the.
You came in after that.
I came in after that. We did your Iron Giant, Iron Giant head. Yeah, we molded the head.
Okay. Yeah. Well, see, the whole impetus behind all these templates was someone telling me, he said, Lou, you'll spend 2 hours trying to figure out how to save 10 minutes. And I think, yeah, I will. I will sit there and think up, try to come up with a problem, because I know if I have this problem today, I'm going to have it again tomorrow. And if I can solve it today, then by the time tomorrow gets here, I will have saved time, cumulatively. But the idea of making something that I can, use over and over again, or having not, I can't explain this the right way. You don't have to use the Testors brand or another brand. You don't have to use that brand item to get your result.
Right.
You can go just as easily to a auto parts store and get a big can of spray primer, for the amount that you're going to spend on half of a Testors brand spray primer can.
Right.
That kind of stuff. And I tell people that, look in other places. You don't have to get all of your art supplies at the art supply store or your hobby store. Go to a restaurant supply store or a beautician supply store and get a handful of emery boards to sand with, or emery cloth or whatever to sand with, or your dental resin or your fingernail resin. Get that at a supply store, and don't spend what you're spending just to get the brand name. That's why I don't use like the Mr. Surfacer type of thing, but I'll use a very good filler primer from Duplicolor.
Yeah, I think Steve Neal uses he uses the auto body filler.
Yeah, Bondo.
So just use like the Bondo.
He uses Evercoat. We can't get that here. The blue stuff. I think it's called Evercoat.
Is that the all-in-one? Is that the?
I think it's just the brand name.
Primer and hardener and.
No, it's the primer or the Bondo that you have to mix the catalyst in to harden it. But all we can get is the Bondo brand that is like the terracotta color.
Oh.
And his is like that nice light blue color or grayish blue that, frankly, would be a whole lot easier to paint over.
Oh. Because he was telling me, because when I was there, I used to go to Lowe's a lot, like before I would go into work or go into his shop, and he'd go get this filler. I'm like, okay, is it filler? He goes, no. He goes, it's filler and it's filler and hardener in one.
Okay.
So it's like the red terracotta one,
right.
Like you said, the 3M stuff. And he goes, but it's hardener in one. I said, so you don't want me to get the hardener? He goes, if there's hardener there, just pick it up. He goes, I still have a whole thing. So like when I got back to my house, when we got back to New Jersey and then we moved to Pennsylvania, I bought a gallon of of the filler stuff. I still have it. It's great. It's still I mean, I can activate it with whatever, and it's great. But I still just need hardener, and I'm like, I just want it in one. If you take it out, you squeeze it out, you smooth it in, it's done. You sand it, But it is a good. I mean, it is a time saver. Sometimes it's like a lifesaver for certain things.
Yeah. But you got to be well ventilated.
Oh, yeah. You start seeing pink elephants.
Yeah. All the world turns funny after a while.
So wait.
And oddly enough, everything's all of a sudden just really cool.
And mellow.
And I can hear my hair grow.
I can hear snails crawl.
Okay.
Yes. So you got a chair from Steve. I know you got the
I've got a ton of his masks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know you got the Corbomite maneuver mask. I got the Baylock, the Cyclops. Because I was bugging him to do this. I was bugging him to do the one-eyed Sinbad Cyclops, the Telosian, a couple of. I got a chimp and an orangutan. The M113 salt creature.
Got the salt. I got Nancy. And I didn't. And I got the Six Finger.
Oh, okay.
That's the only one of his Outer Limits masks that I got was the Six Finger.
Okay, yeah, he did, and he did some. He's doing like shadow boxes now because we were on the Zoom together. He was doing the small shadow boxes, the Outer Limit shadow boxes, because he's into 3D printing, which he told me he would never do.
I am so envious of his ability to pick up 3D printing so quickly.
Yeah, because he does it because he does the he picked it up so quickly because.
He's a sculptor. He understands sculpting.
Well, yeah, he understands sculpting, but but on the computer side, he does CGI for film. So he does the film. So that's where, that comes in. I don't know if you know John McCallum. I have a friend, named John McCallum. Did a lot of special effects back in the 80s. Mm-hmm. He does 3D printing, but he designs his 3D prints in Lightwave. So he uses Lightwave to actually do his 3D printing,
right?
And then he can convert it to an STL.
I tell you, I just don't have the bandwidth for it. I don't understand it. I'm a print guy. I work in print, two-dimensional. I can lay you up a magazine, a catalog, like that. I know print. I know what all the tolerances and making your photos look good and typesetting and all that. I cannot, for the life of me, get beyond the second dimension when it comes into. Now you give me a lump of clay, I can do this with my hands and make something,
right?
But I cannot do that on a computer screen and have it turn out looking like anything. Right. I can. If you give me an STL file, I can make it bigger. I can make it. I'm like the Outer Limits control voice. I can make it bigger. I can make it smaller. I can expand it. I can expand, but I can't do anything else with it. I can send it to print, and then I know how to run the printer part of it, but I don't know how to generate the STL part of it. I'm happy enough to let somebody else do that. I have a set of skills. I appreciate people with other sets of skills. I'm happy to patronize them and let them do that.
Yeah,
Same with
I can't
electronics.
do 3D printing. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have a 3D printer. People go, well, no, you should have a 3D printer. You should have this. I was like,
Mm.
I don't have the infrastructure for it. I don't have the money for it, but
Yeah.
I don't
It's the
have the,
bandwidth. It's the
yeah,
bandwidth.
Yeah, 'cause
it basically,
it's a learning curve. It's a learning curve
yeah,
Yeah.
depending on,
It-
which modeling
it's a dead
program you
man's
use,
curve.
it's a learning curve.
Well, yeah, and even at that, they haven't quite. I mean, there are some things that have been standardized, but it's like it's Mac and
Hmm.
PC, it's this and that, it's this and that. And it's like you
Yeah.
show me
Yeah.
one way to do something and tell me I'll learn the one way, and don't tell me that next week that's obsolete because another way has been invented,
Yeah, but absolutely, yeah, it's a huge learning curve. It just all depends on the printer that you use, the whatever modeling program you use, yeah, it takes all that, you got to take all that into account.
Right.
my brain
What,
does not have
yeah.
complex polygons. I cannot curve like that. I'm sorry. I just can't do that. I have a Minecraft
Yeah, square.
blockhead thing.
Well,
I
George,
know one way.
George,
I know.
you mentioned my
Yeah.
good friend Ralph Tenaglia. Ralph and I are the same way. We'll have the same conversations. It's like, Ralph, I want the light to go blink, blink, blink. You do the rest of that. It's
Right,
like,
right.
I don't have the brain. Well, you need a 470 ohm resistor and down to a red. No, Ralph, you do that. Just give me the blink, blink, blink.
I just needed to blink.
I'm a simple
Just blink,
man. I'm a simple
blink.
man. I just want.
So blink,
You
give it
know
a
that,
second. Blink,
and I know
give it a
this,
second.
and that's
Blink,
it.
that's what I need.
Yeah. Did you see it in the movie when it did that? Make it do that. That's what I wanted to do.
So how do you feel? And I think I think I had talked to Augie Gonzalez about this. We had Augie on on our
He's a
show. I
good
think that
guy.
was like I think we were 2 weeks ago.
Hmm.
Um, how do you feel about the 3D printed models that are done? The Larson design models.
Uh-oh.
Do you
Wait,
like them? Do you think that they're? I mean, because they're 3D printed on demand, and they're supposed to have no layer lines. So they're printed on a large format printer,
mm-hmm.
but they're $3,900 for a kit. And that's on the cheap end. The most
Well,
expensive one I believe is the Enterprise D, which is studio scale. It's close to $10,000 for that kit. I thought
good
it
work if
was.
you can get it. Good work if you can get it. Well, back in the days when we were buying resin kits, they were an arm and a leg. Uh, Relatively speaking, you go to a model show and somebody's got a brown box with a picture of Frankenstein on the front of it, and there's a resin kit inside that they only made six of, and they cast them in resin, and they were like $200. It's like, why would I spend that much money on a piece of resin? Well, because they only made six of them, type of thing. Um, what I like about 3D printing is that you're seeing models made of things that would never sell on a wide for on a they are very niche items. perfect kit. Why are they reinventing the wheel by putting out X-wings or Falcons or Enterprises